Welcome. Today is Tuesday, May 25th, 2021, and this is Explore Careers, Stadium Event Opportunities. We're taking a little bit of a side turn. This might not be considered careers, so to speak. They're more seasonal work opportunities to enjoy and celebrate and participate in all of the events that take place throughout our state, especially during the summer months and the fall. Some of the special event work takes place in some of the major stadiums, US Bank, Allianz Field, Target Field, Target Center, and CHS Field too. So today we are inviting the people that run those services within each one of the stadiums to talk about their opportunities for this coming summer and fall season. I saw in one press release that US Bank Stadium is anticipating hiring up to 1,500 people to serve, all of the fans who come to the sports opportunities and many of the concerts. So we're going to hear from ASM Global, Aramark, Best, Garda World, and Delaware North, who all run the food, security, and the guest experiences services. So let's get started. And I'd like to introduce Carrie Fireman. She's with ASM Global, who is the major management contract holder for the US Bank Stadium. So Carrie, welcome. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, great. Thanks. Glad
Okay.
to have you today.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're excited to be able to share some of the opportunities at the stadium. We're excited to be hiring again for the stadium and getting ready for big events at the stadium again. So I wanted to kind of preface this. Liz thought it might be a good idea to explain, since not everybody understands really kind of how the stadium is structured. So the Minnesota Sports Facilities Authority is a public body, and it's a political subdivision that owns and manages the stadium on behalf of the state of Minnesota. So then they contract with our company, which is ASM Global. We're a venue management company. They contract with us to manage the venue, and they contract with Aramark to manage the food and beverage here at the stadium. And then we also contract with Best, which is the security that works events, G4S, which is the 24-hour security that's securing the stadium 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And then Legends Global Merchandise handles the merchandise. So when you work at US Bank Stadium, you actually work for one of these partners, and the Minnesota Sports Facilities Authority actually owns the building. So that's kind of the background on that. So each of these companies today, you're going to be hearing from ASM Global, which is our company, Aramark, which is food and beverage, and then Best, which is the event security here at the stadium. We will be having a job fair next week, and we will have Global Merchandise, which is Legends, and G4S, which is 24-hour security, also at the job fair, but they won't be on today. They're not hiring for quite as many positions as we are hiring for. So if you want to go to the next slide, Liz. So our company, ASM Global, I want to talk about the positions that we're hiring for. We're looking for about 200 people to join our team. We specifically manage the guest experience representatives here at the stadium. So it's all the people that you see that are helping scan tickets, that are answering questions, ushering, any of those types of positions, our guest experience. You can go to the next slide, Liz. So our guest experience positions. So here's a couple pictures. So like I was saying, this is kind of what a typical guest experience representative will be doing on an event day, whether it's a Vikings game, a monster truck show, a concert, an RV show, a home show, all kinds of events that we have here at the stadium. You can see in that first picture, the guy is helping some fans, showing them where their section is, what seats they need to go to. And then the other picture is there at one of our gates, helping scan tickets, helping show people where their seats are once they've scanned their tickets, and answering questions. So those are kind of typical things our guest experience representatives do here at the stadium. You could go to the next one, Liz. So our guest experience reps, they are part-time and hourly, and we'll talk about some of the perks and kind of the time commitment for these positions. It is a union position, and most of the positions, depending on what company you're at, there are a lot of union positions here at the stadium. This one particularly is with Teamsters. Starting next Tuesday, the 1st, the hourly rate goes up to $14.25, and then if you're not familiar with unions, there's always a collective bargaining agreement, and then there's usually annual rate increases. That's actually the last year for the contract. So that's I can't tell you what it will be next year because we haven't done that contract yet, but it's $14.25 an hour. And then I'm actually going to have Kayla Waters. She's on the call. She's our guest experience and tours manager. And she directly oversees these positions. And I want her to kind of give a little bit more background on exactly what guest experience reps do. And then if anybody on the call has questions about kind of what we expect and what the ideal candidate would be like, Kayla would be the best person to kind of go into more detail on that. So Kayla, are you on?
Yep. Hello, everybody. My name is Kayla. As Carrie mentioned, I'm the guest experience and tourist manager at the stadium. So it's my job to oversee all of the guest experience representatives. So what we're looking for from a guest experience rep is someone who's personal and proactive. They can assist all of our guests with the highest level of customer service and hospitality, always doing it with a smile and always having fun. We have a lot of different positions within our guest experience department, and some of the things that you could be doing on any given event day would be scanning tickets at the entrances, helping guests get inside the building, checking tickets and helping guests get to their seating areas, listening and assisting guests with any requests or complaints that they may have, helping enforce stadium rules and policies, and generally acting as a liaison for the stadium, really assisting guests in any way possible and going above and beyond to make sure they have a great experience. The biggest thing that we're looking for is someone who's willing to have fun, someone who's excited about sports and entertainment and being a part of the environment on a game day. It gets loud in the stadium, but it's really exciting. So that's really what we're looking for. I would be happy to answer any questions if anyone has anything specific regarding the guest experience rep position.
Okay, so if you have any questions, Liz can always check the chat and let us know. Kayla may have to jump off for another call, but I can answer those questions if anybody has any later. So I did want to talk about perks for all stadium employees, and you're going to hear from some of those other companies, like I mentioned at the beginning. Best and Aramark also are part of US Bank Stadium, and we have a whole program called Sportservice. And that's for any employee at the stadium. So it doesn't matter which partner you work for, we do it for all those employees. So starting, June 1st, the hourly rate for any position is going to be at least $14.25. We're asking really for a limited time commitment. So this is a great, fun, part-time job. It's about 15 to 20 major events, Vikings games, concerts, monster trucks, any of those kinds of big events where we're going to have a lot of people in the stadium. That's really where we need our majority of staff to work. We do offer free parking. We have some parking ramps that we pay for, and then they're a little bit away from the stadium, so then we shuttle people over, so you have a free parking space in one of the parking ramps. We also do a meal during major events for employees, and then we have some really fun exclusive employee-only events. I don't know if Kayla's still on, so she might be able to speak a little bit better to this, but we do, with our school service program, we have a lot of employee appreciation events. If you want to hop in, Kayla, I know you're better at probably explaining all the different things we do for our employees, but there's some really fun things that only our employees get to do.
Yeah, so we host a pep rally before the season to get everybody excited about starting the football season. So usually that's kind of just a fun little event to get excited for the season. And then around the holiday season, we host a movie on the field. So we play a movie up on the big screen at the stadium, invite all of our team members and their families to come enjoy some popcorn and a movie and just spend some time down on the field. And then at the conclusion of the Viking season, we throw a end of the season party. Usually is food and drinks and just kind of a fun environment, do some raffles and really celebrate a successful season.
Yeah, so those are some of the fun things that I don't think people realize as part of the US Bank Stadium team that you get to be part of. In addition to, coming and working games and getting paid, you also get these kind of fun perks for being part of the stadium family. And then that last point, just being an important part of great events at US Bank Stadium, being able, we've hosted a Super Bowl, we've hosted a Final Four, having, these huge concerts, things like that. So it's fun to get to say you were part of, kind of the history of the events at US Bank Stadium. So how to apply for any of the stadium jobs, and when you hear from Jared from Aramark here in a little bit, and Hannah from Best, any of those jobs at US Bank Stadium are easily found at usbankstadium.com/jobs. And that QR code there on the presentation, you can scan that. It will take you right there, usbankstadium.com/jobs. We are offering virtual interviews. I know ASM Global for guest experience, we've already started doing some of those. I think some of the other companies may be offering that as well. And then we are going to have that all stadium hiring fair next Wednesday at the stadium from 10 a.m. to 2 and 4 to 8. And you'll be able to interview with any of the stadium companies that day. And I believe most, if not all, are offering positions on the spot. So I know it's kind of hard to think about football season since it's just becoming summer, but we're, want to get our staff in. We usually do trainings in July. Like Kayla mentioned, we have a pep rally, kind of get our employees excited. And then there's going to be football before we know it. So if there's any questions about our positions, I think that was my last slide, Liz, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so I think I can hand it over to Jared, and he's going to go in and talk about aramark positions. And there are food and beverage here at the stadium.
Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, we did have one question though about uniforms. How do you do you give people a t-shirt or what?
I believe most companies, it could be different depending on the position. So security may be different than guest experience. For guest experience, and Kayla can hop on if I'm not correct, but we do supply a shirt, a stadium uniform shirt, and then the employee supplies their own pants. We just ask that they're black, non-athletic pants, so no like yoga pants or like workout pants, but any other sort of just black plain pants. Plain black shoes that are comfortable because you're going to be standing in most positions. And then I think that's really it. Is there anything else, Kayla, with uniforms for guest experience?
Nope, I think you covered it, Carrie.
Yeah, and then Jared with Aramark or Whitney or Hannah with Best could go into more detail on the stadium on what uniforms they require and what they give, but most companies give you at least part of your uniform.
Thanks. And one other question too, I do acknowledge that we have statewide job seekers on these calls. Do you know who manages the Mayo Civic Center both in Rochester and Mankato, but specifically the Mankato? And does like Duluth have any stadiums or anything that are managed by ASM?
ASM Global does manage Target Center here in town. We also manage, I believe, the Rochester Civic Center. I don't think we manage anything in Duluth, but I'd have to look for sure because we all kind of operate separately and have our own staff at each venue. But I do think we manage the Mayo Civic Center in Rochester, but I'm not sure about any of the other ones in Minnesota.
Sure, great, thank you. Yeah, and I can dig around too for other people in other, like Mankato and Duluth. We can try and figure out that later. So thank you very much, Carrie and Kayla, for talking about ASM and its relationship to US Bank Stadium. So yes, let's move ahead now and have Jared talk about aramark. What's the role of aramark at the US Bank Stadium and other locations across the Twin Cities?
Yes, thank you, Liz, and thank you everybody for being on here today. Before I get started, I do want to address the uniform question. It is very similar for us as it is for guest experience. We require black pants and black shoes. Again, the pants can't be athletic wear like leggings or tights. And we provide a uniform shirt and hat if it's applicable to the employee. But I am Jared Woodford. I'm with Aramark here at US Bank Stadium. I'm the assistant HR manager. Aramark is a global company, but here in the United States, we are contracted out of a lot of different venues, Major League Baseball, NFL, stadiums like that to provide excellent food and beverage experiences to the guests that come to those stadiums. You can go to the next slide. So I'm going to really highlight 9 of our positions today. We have a lot of different options and positions here with our food and beverage experience. And so I really want to make sure that you are aware of all those different options. All of our positions are hourly and part-time. And all of those, most of those positions are under Union Unite Here Local number 17. And with that, seniority is accrued with those positions. And so starting off with the cashier, really those tasks would be taking the guest order and taking payment. For that, we want somebody who has great customer service skills. The pay for that is $14.35 an hour. And seniority is accrued by the number of events that you work. For stand worker, that's the person that's helping the cashier complete the orders. And so they're putting those food items onto a tray or a plate and giving it to the guest. Again, we want to see some great customer service. That is $14.60 an hour, and seniority is accrued by the number of events that you work. And then another concession stand related position is the grill cook. And so that is the person who's in the back of the stand helping prepare food by grilling and frying. And they make sure that the stand has enough food to complete those orders. And again, we want somebody that can do great customer service. That is $14.60 an hour, and seniority is accrued by the number of events that they work. We can do the next slide. Stand lead. So this is the person who is helping run one concession stand or food location. They're the one who the cashier, the stand worker, and the grill cook can point to if they have need help or have any concerns. This is also the person who ensures proper inventory is counted. We really want somebody who has experience leading a team for those roles, but it doesn't necessarily have to be food service team leading. It can just be a team in general. $15.85 for that position, and seniority is accrued by the number of events that you work. Next is our supervisor, and so this is a supervisor that can be in our concessions area, it could be in our clubs or our suites area. This is a person who oversees a large group of food locations or a large group of employees. And so you're working closely with management and making sure that issues or anything that needs people need help with is getting resolved quickly. And you also are helping with inventory tracking. And so with this, we want somebody who has experience leading a team and also prior supervisor experience is always a plus. That is our listed here, the only non-union position that I have listed here, and that is 17 to 18 hours, or 17 to $18 an hour. And then the last one for this slide is cook, and so this is different than grill cook. Whereas a grill cook would be in the back of a concession stand, a cook is usually in our main kitchen. And so they are doing a lot of prepping food, chopping and grilling and frying large amounts of food all at once to be served to pretty much any location in the stadium, including suites and clubs. And so for this position, we really want somebody who can follow instructions really closely. That is $16.85 an hour. And for this one, seniority is accrued by the date that you're hired. We can go to the next slide. And so these are our last 3 that I have listed here today. Warehouse worker. So we need people who can move food, move product, and move equipment using some light machinery. So they work those machines and make sure that those things get delivered to locations. We want somebody who can really follow safety protocol really, really well, and also be able to frequently lift, push, or carry items up to 50 pounds. That is $16.85 an hour. And this one is also seniority accrued by hire dates. Next is a runner. A runner is taking cooked food and delivering it directly to locations like clubs and suites and bringing back dirty dishes for the dishwashers. And you may also be tasked to bus and clean tables in club spaces. Again, we want somebody who is able to frequently lift, push, or carry items up to 50 pounds. That is $14.85 an hour, and seniority is accrued by the number of events that you work. And then the last position that I have here is dishwasher. And so this is the group of people that bring the dirty dishes back to the main kitchen, run them through our dishwasher and make sure everything is clean. And they also mop and sweep floors in our guest areas and also kitchen areas. Again, we want somebody who can follow instructions really closely and accurately. That is $14.85 an hour. And for this one, the seniority is accrued by your hire date. And we can go to the next slide. And so Carrie already went over a couple of great perks that we have. I just want to highlight the main three that we like to touch on. We have union pay rates, which means that our pay rates are very competitive. And also, per the collective bargaining agreement, are set to go up at certain points in the future. A free meal is provided during every shift. If you work with Aramark and you work a smaller shift, you still get a free meal for that shift. And then there's also opportunity for growth here with Aramark. We have lead positions, supervisor positions that people are able to get promoted into. And we have even had people get promoted into management positions, and we're really proud of that. And we can go to the next slide. I just want to highlight our hiring process here. First step is to apply online. You can apply online at usbankstadium.com or the direct link to our Aramark jobs is aramark.com/careers, and you search for US Bank Stadium. We would really love you to attend our hiring fair on Wednesday, June 2nd. Again, that's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then we'll have interviews on site at that hiring fair. If you can't make it to the hiring fair, we are also doing phone interviews and virtual interviews if you apply online at aramark.com/careers. You would receive an offer from us if we think they're a great fit for the job, and that would include applicable offer paperwork, which would be criminal history disclosure, and we do run a background check. And then last, we would have you attend a training before we have you work any shifts. Those would come later this summer. We can go to the next slide. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. That's my email address, woodford-jared@aramark.com. You can feel free to send me an email and I'll be sure to respond to it. But that is all that I have today. I have any questions, then I can answer those.
Thanks, Jared. One question that's coming up is what are the other facilities that Aramark works out of? And I know Aramark has been very busy, like even in corporations, and do a lot of food service.
Correct. Yeah, we for sports and entertainment, we oversee here at US Bank Stadium and also the University of Minnesota, which would include the stadium that they have there. We also do business dining at different locations in the area. The first one that pops in my head is 3M headquarters. That's the one that I have right now. I'm sure that there are other ones, but it's a little bit of a different operation, so I'm a little bit removed from that.
Sure. So, but the idea is though that if someone really does want to work in food service, they could work at the stadium in the weekends for events, but then there are many other opportunities within Aramark.
Yes, exactly. We do have people who work at business dining accounts and then come over on a Sunday and work with us here at US Bank Stadium.
Sure. And, I had looked at your careers page earlier in the week and I saw multiple locations. So I would recommend that to anyone on the call who's trying to find other locations as well. Great. This is really good information. And it sounds like it's very doable to integrate working at one of the sports facilities with other day jobs too. I'm guessing a lot of people do that, right?
Correct. With a very large part of our population have other jobs that they might work from Monday to Friday. They might have full-time jobs or, careers, but they just want to come on a weekend and help us here at the stadium. And it's definitely a very rewarding environment to be around all the fans and see all the highs and lows of NFL football.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Yes, let's go to our best crowd management Garda World company team, and they're ready. They're on the call here. Take it away. Tell us what Best does.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I am the staffing and events coordinator here at Best.
I'm Whitney, and I'm the regional HR manager that oversees Minnesota and Wisconsin venues for Best Crowd Management.
Yes, so we can go to the next slide.
Sure. So Best was formerly known as WES. It's a Canadian-based security company. We did join with the Garda World brand, and we're just continuing to grow throughout the United States as well. So constantly just partnering up with different states, venues, apartment complexes. I mean, really anything. It can go from big to small.
We can go to the next slide. So for everybody looking for multiple places to work, we are just about everywhere in the Twin Cities. Obviously, this meeting is mainly for US Bank Stadium, but we also have positions available at Allianz, Target Field, Target Center, TCF Bank Stadium, and pretty much any of the stadiums at the U, the Minnesota Convention Center, and we have other like random jobs throughout the cities. But yeah, we are pretty much everywhere. We can go to the next slide.
Do you have outstate positions too? Duluth,
Yes.
Mankato, Rochester? Okay.
I believe we do. We're working on outsourcing a little bit, but we also have bussed people down from like Mankato or Duluth in the past if they do want to work events. So for people who are not located in the Twin Cities, this is a really good opportunity to still come and experience game day at different stadiums.
Great,
Yeah,
thanks.
so if you and your friends or anybody that are interested in working, it does help with groups getting busing as well. So the more people, the easier that we can get a bus out there and get people down here for training or get us up there for training with a group. So for security, you do need to have, you have to be 18 minimum. We do look for people that are sports fans. Obviously, if you're just looking for extra work or anything like that, it's totally fine too. We do help nonprofit groups as well. So if there's any like GoFundMe's or any other companies that are out there that are just looking for additional assistance, we do help teams help raise money for like uniforms and stuff like that too. So really anybody that's interested in working, we will be glad to help. Along with the 18 or older, you do need to pass a drug screen and background as well. And then you do have to go through a 12-hour security training that is paid for working too.
So some of the benefits of working with Best, you kind of get to choose your own schedule. We're really flexible if people have kids or a second job. We use a scheduling software called API, and you're actually able to accept shifts that are available. So say you have a doctor's appointment during a Vikings game, totally fine. We also have weekly pay starting at $15 an hour, and it goes up from there depending on if you're a supervisor position or some of the stadiums pay a little bit different. And one thing that really sets us apart from the other vendors is you do have the ability to work on the field at your favorite sporting events or like essentially front row at your favorite concerts. It's just a little bit different from working at the gates. You get to see the behind the stadiums or behind the scenes at the stadiums and just a lot of experiences that not a lot of people get to do. And we are also hosting a bonus program. So I know specifically for the Vikings, if you are able to work 100% of the games, which I think for home games, there's only 10 right now, you will get a $750 bonus. And if anybody has specific questions about that, you can definitely ask us. It's very new that we're rolling out. So yeah, some really fun stuff we're doing this season.
You know, we often think of a large man as being a security person, but do you hire women as well?
We definitely do. We are an equal opportunity place of business. So we do hire men, women, I mean, you have to be an adult. So I was going to say kids just because I'm so used to saying that stuff. But we don't discriminate against any of that.
And we are a non-contact security company. So I know like some of my friends are like 5'2" and 100 pounds. They'd be fine. If you're a huge football player, totally fine.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. So the steps to apply, I have the link to apply online here. We actually have weekly hiring events at TCF Bank Stadium from 10 to 2 and 4 to 6 on Tuesdays. I have some of the information on the flyer to the right. We also host walk-in Wednesdays, so it's every Wednesday from 10 to 3, again at TCF Bank Stadium. And obviously we do have the US Bank Stadium hiring event on June 2nd, and we really encourage you to come to that because it should be super fun. You get to see the stadium, meet people face to face, which I'm so excited to do that again. Like this virtual thing, I'm over it. I'm excited to see you guys in person. So yeah, if you have any questions, my email is on this slide, and I believe our phone number should be listed. If it's not, I'll put it in the chat right now.
Great, thank you. Yeah, it's fantastic that you have weekly Wednesdays or Tuesdays, you know, that a person can just show up. So that regularity really helps us remember.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then one thing to note, if you are coming to the US Bank Stadium hiring event, please bring your I-9 documents. So like a driver's license and social security card or a US passport would be fine.
Now, what did you say about uniforms? What do you require with the
Oh, yeah.
uniforms?
We do require black pants, and then black shoes as well. So nothing, no leggings or jeggings or anything like that, or joggers. So jeans is fine. Black shoes, definitely something comfortable as you will be standing. And then you will get a security shirt provided to you for working the event.
And what are the shifts usually like? I mean, are these 4-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour shifts?
It kind of depends on the venue. We have a pretty big variance in shift lengths and times. Like if you're a morning person, we do have early morning start times. If you want to work overnights, we also have those. We pretty much have shifts all the time.
Yep. And since it is varied on your own schedule, you can block when you're not available. So say you're only available from 6 a.m. to noon. That's the block that you would say that you're open to work, and then we'll try to get you scheduled for that time frame. Or if you're open for the entire game day, you could be working anywhere from like 12 to 14 hours too for that day.
Are most of the positions or the shifts only like Thursday through Sunday, for instance, or do you have any work opportunities on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays?
We do have it. It really honestly varies by venue on what days and all of that. Obviously, we have prepping for events that will happen the day before an event. We have the event days, which you could be hours before the event or during the event, as well as, like Hannah mentioned, a bunch of little things too that we also have. We have security for apartment complexes in Minneapolis, as well as parking ramps and stuff like that. Some malls we also do security for. So it definitely varies.
Well, that's really helpful to know, so that really a person could get a job with Best and then put together 40 hours of work.
Correct.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, especially with like the Twins and Timberwolves having some overlap. Like baseball and basketball have so many games.
Right, right. Thank you so much for being on. Folks, if you have any other questions right now for Hannah and Whitney, please type them in the chat and they can answer it, and put these hiring events on your calendar. Now we're going to look at a different stadium. A few of you are asking, and we have Pete Spike from Delaware North on the call. Pete, please tell us how Delaware North works and the facilities that you're at.
Yeah, hi everybody. Thanks for joining the call today. My name is Pete Spike, as Liz introduced me. I'm the general manager, for the property for Delaware North. So I oversee the food, beverage, and retail operations. Delaware North is the exclusive partner with the Twins for retail and food and beverage operations inside Target Field. We also have done some other things for the Twins over the years with retail pop-ups. We have a food truck, and we operate a restaurant at the MSP Airport. We are looking to ramp up our staff in line with some of the additional restrictions being lifted with attendance in the ballparks and other venues. We are planning to be at 80% occupancy inside of Target Field starting on June the 1st. So our first game would be on the 8th, and then we'll be at 100% occupancy come July, which Target Field is 40,000 people strong with a few standing room tickets. So definitely a great opportunity with a lot of different activations throughout the 81 game regular season and any other special events. Generally, we get a few concerts. We get a lot of non-event catering, non-game day catering events, which would require all hands on deck that are available to assist. And then we're hopeful that we can get confirmation on a Winter Classic event around New Year's Eve, New Year's Day that we missed out because of the pandemic in last year. As you can see here on the previous slide, but you'll be able to hit it again if you haven't scanned that QR code. That QR code takes you to our career site for Target Field in Delaware North, or you can hit the www.targetfieldhire or TFHire, sorry, www.tfhire.com, where you can apply and start your process to join our team. Go to the next slide, Liz. Sorry. So who is Delaware North Sportservice? I kind of alluded to a lot of that. We are the exclusive provider of food and beverage for the Minnesota Twins in this market. We have over 100 years of experience. The company was founded and is still within the Jacobs family over 100 years ago when they just did new concessions and theater concessions off of a cart outside of movie theater or theaters in Buffalo, New York in 1915, and has grown to a multi-billion-dollar hospitality company. So Sportservice is the sports entertainment side of the company. We have over 60 locations throughout the country and some international in Great Britain and in the Pacific Rim. We've hosted a lot of major events similar to the Aramarks and Levy's of the world. We're very similar companies when it comes to the sports entertainment side of hospitality. We are located here in the Twin Cities at Target Field specifically for my interest, but I have other general managers within the market that oversee Allianz Field's hospitality piece for Minnesota United FC. And then we also have operations at MSP Airport where we do some retail, restaurants, and other food and beverage outlets. Go on, Liz. So what are we looking for? A lot of similar things that what you heard Jared talk about at US Bank Stadium. So I appreciate the job descriptions. Saved me some oxygen today as I talk to y'all. Most of the positions are very similar with what they entail on a game day basis, as well as non-game day opportunities. So cashiers, cooks, servers, warehouse and distribution staff, our hawkers and vending program that go up and down the aisles and serve fans in the seats. While we can't get you on the field, we certainly can get you close to the field if you want to be a hawker. Retail, food and beverage supervisors, concession leads, and runners, as well as a list of other opportunities within the ballpark. We have different shift types. Certainly, full-time positions are limited due to the seasonality of our business, but we do have a lot of seasonal positions to the ones that were just listed. They're every Twins game, and we talked about some of the other special events. Certainly, the availability for these are all on you. We look to work with your schedule. I know certain people can only work certain days because of other commitments, or they don't want to work certain hours or limited hours. And I think that's been kind of the message you've heard is we're there as well. We'd like to work with you. We'd like to have the opportunity to have you as part of our team. And if you if you can work one day a week or can only work days on the weekends or can only work evenings, we'll just let us know and we'll work with your availability to get you the shifts to each part of the team. Part of our perks, we have flexible scheduling, as I just talked about. Competitive union wages, so we are part of the same hospitality union in the MSP market. So we all negotiate with the local and have competitive union wages in many of our positions within the ballpark, if not most of the positions. We have established preferred parking rates in the Hawthorne lot, which is about a block away from the ballpark, which you can take advantage of. But we're also, as the other venues are convenient to the light rail and public transportation. So not too far if you get dropped off or you're driving or you're taking public transportation to get access to the ballpark. We do provide meals during your shift. We also provide uniforms, similar policy, black pants or black shorts. Due to the summer seasonality, we do allow black shorts, again, with black shoes preferred or non-slip shoes. And then and if you layer a white t-shirt or a long sleeve shirt underneath, we'll provide you with a uniform shirt and hat, as well as any other pieces to the uniform that may be required, like an apron or dress whites or cooking whites. We are offering up merchandise discounts. We've had merchandise discounts for a while. It's something that our group looks forward to on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, where you can get up to 35% off in our retail store on select dates. So certainly is a great benefit around the holidays, birthdays, special occasions, to be able to take home a piece of the place you work to friends, family, and loved ones. From a uniform standpoint, we talked about that. Merchandise discounts, we talked about that. Referral bonus, another benefit to being part of the team is we rely on the referrals of our team members, because they've got firsthand knowledge of how we operate, and we have a $200 referral bonus. So once you get hired in and you've got friends and family looking for work, just have them refer you or put you down as the referral. And once they work, I think it's 20 games is all we're asking for. You'll receive a $200 referral bonus per person that makes it those 20 events, and the person you refer will get a $100 bonus for making those 20 events. So everybody's got a little skin in the game to learn and grow. We are a cashless environment at the ballpark, so I know that there's always some concerns about potential job loss due to cash handling or accidents that can happen as you're handling cash. We are a cashless environment, so everything is done through QR codes or mobile wallets or credit cards. So you won't have to worry about any mishaps potentially jeopardizing your employment, at least in the cash handling side of things, because we will be all cashless. We have the ability to work other Delaware North properties. There's certainly, as we talked about here, opportunities to work at the airport as they become available, at our MSP operations, as well as Allianz Field and the soccer events that are taking place over in St. Paul. And then we have our 81 game season here. We also reciprocate well with other regional properties. So if there's a need for something at Lambeau Field, where we operate, we have regular scheduled bus trips where we can assist in staffing Lambeau for the Packers, or we can assist in staffing Miller Park for the Brewers, and have also assisted in Chicago. And a lot of those times it's kind of fun to get away with your coworkers and have an overnight, and then assist for a long weekend or whatnot. But those are certainly that's certainly up to you. They are not mandatory. It's always based on your availability when it comes to the scheduling or opportunities that produce themselves. And then advancement opportunities. We do have very strong philosophy of hiring from within when it comes to giving promotions. And I got a little slide here that kind of talks about that. So Delaware North at Target Field, we have instant offers. So when you come into one of our hiring events, you'll get an offer right on the spot. It would be contingent on the background check, but we will give you that offer. And if things come back good, you're going to be able to start work right away, as well as the drug testing component, where we do drug tests for select items, or substances, I should say. The event dates are Tuesday, June 1st is our next hiring event from 3 to 6. And then Wednesday, June 2nd from 12 to 3. If you can't make those dates, then you certainly can scan that QR code again. I've got it on a couple of these slides so you don't miss out. You can save it in your bookmark for a later time. But you can apply. You can even potentially get an interview over the phone and then get an offer without even coming down to the ballpark, except to take those pre-hire requirements. Where the job fairs are great is, or the hiring fairs, is you can come knock out those pre-hire requirements in one stop. So if you can't make the job fair, though, we would just schedule a time for you to come down and fill out that quick paperwork. And then the leadership success stories. I kind of talked the story about myself because I'm on the slide for orientation, but I started with a company 25 years ago. And I started as an hourly cashier, a bartender, and a server in one of our properties in Buffalo, New York. And it's been 25 years, and I've had given a lot of opportunities to work my way up through. So if you're a sponge and you want to learn and you want to potentially find a career where you didn't know one could be, you can certainly make a good career out of being in the hospitality business around the sports and entertainment industry. It's one of those a hidden career paths that I don't think anybody thinks of. When I thought at one point I wanted to get into business and marketing, and then found myself going back to the roots of working in a restaurant and working my way up through. But we believe heavy in mentoring, and it's a two-way street. If you're willing to be mentored, we will mentor you as far as your ambitions take you. So great opportunities if you'd like to move up. Next slide. So here again, not to kill you with the QR codes and the information. We think it's a one-stop shop. It's the ability to hit that QR code, go to our site, apply. You'll hear back from one of our hiring managers, and we can get the process started. Or you can go to that tfhire.com. Real simple opportunities to get you part of our team. So looking forward to those of you that are interested or have questions on the chat line. And again, Annie Parrish is our HR operations manager on site. So her phone number is right there, 612-659-3996. You can certainly ask questions there. You can also have questions or inquiries put through that TF Hire site as well, if there are any that pop up in your thoughts. So again,
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everybody.
thank you,
Thanks, Liz,
Pete.
for facilitating.
Yeah, Pete has a coworker named Tyler who couldn't make the call, but Tyler staffs the Allianz Field in St. Paul. And so Pete, does he have kind of the similar types of positions also at Allianz?
He does, and if you're hired here or you're hired at Allianz, you'd be able to potentially pick up work at both places. And Annie can help answer questions because she also has some responsibilities at that property as well.
Great, yeah. So anyone in St. Paul who wants to stay on the St. Paul side, they could consider that. And last week we had another coworker of theirs, Pia McDonough from the airport, and she talked about Delaware North's management of many of the airport restaurants, or I guess it was 2 weeks ago. So that recording is on the Explore Careers series on the YouTube channel, and I'll show that link in just a minute. But thank you, Pete, too, about talking about your growth within the company. I didn't think we were going to talk about career pathways, but it is possible. It is possible in the hospitality industry, in the sports world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great. Thank you very much to everyone. I had created this slide too, more information about the US Bank Stadium hiring event. But just like the Target Field is having their on-site hiring, the baseball and the football, both sides of the Minneapolis sports world. So next June 2nd, I suppose one could go to both events on June 2nd. I don't know if I'd recommend that, but you can choose which sport you want to get involved with. Anyway, it's there. Hope everyone gives it a try. It sounds like a fun time, no matter what facility you work at. And Pete, I was going to ask you too, what are the shifts for Delaware North? Are they, like all day shifts? What are they like?
We have a combination of shifts, Liz. There's our event staff usually comes in an hour an hour or so, depending on the level of responsibility before gates. So an example would be a 7 o'clock game on a Friday. Uh, our gates would open up at 5, so maybe the shift would start anywhere between 3:30 and 4:30, depending on what the responsibilities would be to get ready for that, and then would most likely be over a half hour to an hour after the event ends. Baseball is a little bit different event. We can have extra innings, we can have shutouts, so the length of game isn't timed, you could have a 6-hour shift or a 5 or 6 hour shift, or you could have a 8 or 9 hour shift. It all potentially varies. The good thing is with being in more of a cashless environment, there isn't the reconciliation that needs to take place or the counting that needs to take place or the money handling that needs to take place. We've been able to shave some time off at the end. So if it is a very long night or it's a turnaround where we've got games the next day, we can hopefully get people out at a decent hour so they can come back rested and refreshed for the next event to take care of our guests.
Okay, that helps. Thanks.
But there's also the non-event piece too, I think what you talked about. And we do have distribution workers and our retail stores are open when the team's out of town. And those could be 6 to 8 hour shifts as well. The union does guarantee 4 hours. So if there's a rain delay or rain out, you are guaranteed, if you're part of the union positions, a 4 hour pay.
That's nice. Good. Thanks. We're going to wrap up here, and I'll just remind you of a couple of resources. All of these events and more hiring events throughout the Twin Cities are all posted on the Career Fair job calendar. So go to careerforcemn.com, you click on events, and then there's a small button that says view more events. Click on that and it will give you this calendar. I know Best Garter World has their hiring events on there. I'm pretty sure the stadium events are, and I'm constantly in touch with employers who are posting their information on that. So use it to check to see other places to explore being hired. One piece about our minnesotaworks.net that I even forget sometimes is that if you do a job search, you can click on the telecommute button. So instead of putting in your zip code, like 55401, click instead on the telecommute button to find those companies that have posted job openings that are specifically telecommuting, 100% work from home or work from a remote location. I did it the other day and found some of these companies: Kohu Interface Solutions, Crenlo, Lavender Media, Randstad Staffing, Shippers Supply, Think Small, which is a early childhood education company, US Bank, the actual financial services, United Health Group, Waiter, Western Equipment Finance. So I just wanted to point out that to you because there are a lot of people who are still considering 100% work from home opportunities. Right. Yeah, Post just said, thanks for that tip. And I too forget about it. So it's worth doing both types of searches. Some of our upcoming Explore careers, I'm heading into different industries. The past couple of weeks, we've been talking about hospitality careers at the airport and now at the stadiums. Next week, um, we're going to hear about the transportation industry. I have a CDL training driving school coming to talk about how they prepare people for the industry. And then four people, MTL Transportation, MEI Trucking, Waste Management, and ITSCon Global, which is a partner to the railroad industry, to talk about their need for drivers, both day shifts and overnight. So it's going to be pretty interesting. I know I'm going to learn a lot. June 8th, we're talking about environmental engineering and environmental services. And then for those of you who are interested in Best Garda Worlds today in the security positions, we're going to expand that conversation on June 15th to talk more about the need for security all across the state. It really is a combination of customer service with what a person would think with law enforcement, but really that emphasis on engaging with the public. That big green arrow on that slide reminds you that you can see all of our past webinars on YouTube. So go to YouTube, search for Career Force MN. The MN is important. And then when you get to our subscription site, search for the Explore Careers playlist. There are a number of different playlists for all of the different series that Career Force has. And so you can see all of the conversations that I've hosted since January 1st. And as usual, reach out to Career Force, any of our locations, when you want more help in your location, in your local area. My email address is liz.jennings@state.mn.us. Let me know if you need help. Let me know if you need some connections. I will send out these slides and the recording once it's posted, probably by tomorrow morning. So you'll get it. And please reach out to all of the recruiters who are on the calls. They really do want to talk to you and are looking for your help in this upcoming summer and fall event season. So thank you to all of our presenters today, and thank you to all the job seekers on the call. Talk to you later. See you next week.